Good evening, gardening family. So it is time to harvest some sweet potatoes. So I'm going to be coming in to see what we have in terms of sweet potatoes. Um, not sure what we're going to get. There are a lot of the vines that have come out pretty far. Not really expecting to have sweet potatoes so much on the edges like this because the plants are actually way over there. So that's where I'm going to focus most of my attention. But I wanted you to see this is our sweet potato area, and this is what I'm going to be working on. Need to harvest. So we have all of that that needs to be harvested. So I really need to get this done. So I'm going to just go on in and let's see what we have. I'm going to take you and let you see a different angle because we have an interesting case study to look at. So stay tuned. Here we are on a different side. Still have some paper that was kind of blown around in the midst of the storm in Hurricane Ian. We definitely didn't have a whole lot going on here. Thankfully, we were prepared, but we really ended up being just extremely blessed to not really have a big impact. But we now have to deal with what is here, which is all of this stuff. Don't know what we're going to find, but you can see this is the trellis that was here. And as you notice, the trellis is leaning. It is leaning at this point. So I want to make you laugh right quick and let you see. Well, actually, it's not really that funny. It's pretty depressing, to be honest. Nonetheless, this is what's in here. So look at this. Isn't this nutty? This is complete craziness. But this is what it looks like for that sweet potato I showed you on, I don't know if it was the end of a corn video or what it was. I think it was the end of a cleanup video, but look at this sweet potato. It is completely out of the ground, and you can see how the base of it really is like going into the ground, trying to see if maybe more potatoes would grow from that. I mean, it is really strange. I've never seen that before. But of course, sweet potatoes aren't supposed to be hanging outside of the soil like this one is. So that, of course, is the reason that this looks so crazy. So I'm going to just get in here and just get started. So here we go. Stay tuned. So guys, I think I am going to start on this side right over here. As you may remember, I had some watermelon that was right beside this. Some of the vines were intertwined. So I'm going to start on this side. I don't expect to have any sweet potatoes right here. So I think I'll start here, start getting rid of some of the vines so that I can begin going towards the side where I really expect to have the harvest. So let's get started. So I'll let you see what this looks like so far. I've removed it and there they are. Just that quickly, but look at how easy these are to root. For those of you that maybe have never grown sweet potatoes before, look at that. See how quickly that came from the vine that is up here, but it's rooted right here. And that's potentially where a sweet potato could be. So yeah, pretty interesting. Not sure how long this has been in this area, but we'll give it a little look-see, see if anything's there, or if it just began rooting. And yeah, just began rooting, so nothing's going to be there. If anything, it'd be a little baby sweet potato, but nothing. But look at that soil, guys. Oh yeah. Nice and black, just like I like it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kind of go in this area. That is where one of the roots were. And of course, you're going to get the majority of your sweet potatoes from where you actually planted potatoes. So I do have one that's right here, and then the rest of them are closer to the other side. So we'll go and start with that. I'm actually going to try to cut this so that I can move this whole thing over. I'll deal with what's on there later, but I'm going to try to do that first and make it a little easier for me to get to the potatoes. So let me do that now. let's see if we have anything here, because we did have a sweet potato planted right here. Of course, there's devastation. I've been seeing everyone talking about the fact that they're doing their sweet potato harvest and they've had problems this year. So I don't know if we're going to find more of the same or if we're actually going to have a good harvest. Wow, more of the same. Which is really disappointing. They are literally eating the potatoes out of the middles. So we'll see this in a moment. Look at this. This is nutty. See these guys in here. Always good to see. Another one. Always good to see. Definitely want to see them. And I'm continuing to go because this vine, wow, okay, I don't even know if you can see that, but let me back you up a little and let you see it from a different angle. I keep coming backwards because the vine is literally coming out this way, and there is a potato that was here. It's no longer here, but it was here. Wow. Looks like that was a good sized potato too. This is crazy. Okay. Got my little pisters. And if I need a shovel, I will come back through with the shovel, but I'm gonna give this a gander first and see if I can get this up without doing too much. Wow, look at that. How horrible is that? Come on through. Got a little baby. Can make some candy with that. And this is just a long root here that's going from side to side. So I'm gonna follow the root because again, follow the root to get to the harvest. And I have never had one that looks like this. I think this is probably not going to be edible. Oh, look at that guy. A little potato on the end, but literally where it was growing. Eaten. It's so nutty. Wow. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at the size of this thing. This is insane. Guys, that is awful. Look at that. Split, likely because of the rain, but bitten on that side, bitten on that side. Look at this, guys. This is crazy. Look at that. All a waste. Such and such a waste. This, by the way, is that tomato plant I told you that I just let do what it wants to do. It just smells great. And this is another ground cherry that has produced settle. So not happy with her either. Let's keep digging. Look at that, guys. And you know, some of this might be, sure, I have a pest, but some of this cracking may actually be because this is overdue. And they are overdue. I did not get out here in time, but look at this. That was a nice big sweet potato. When my mom sees this, she's going to be devastated because she loves sweet potatoes and her daughter got it from her. Oh, so that's awful. So far, guys, we are like batting oh, oh for what? Maybe 10 or 15? All right, let's see. Let's continue on. See what I can get right around here. These in the way. This brown cherry, of course, is in my way. She's a goner. She's done nothing but produce nothingness this entire season. Every one of the brown cherries have been failures. Oh, hold on. Just as I talk trash about her, let's see what she has. Okay, there's a little one in there. It's not green yet. Excuse me, yellowish yet, but there's a little brown cherry in there. I'm gonna taste her just to see. Okay, she's not terrible. She's definitely sour, and that ground cherry may have just saved that plant because I was most definitely about to cut her out of here. So I may go ahead and let her stay for just a little while longer and see maybe if I give her good fertilizing, she will actually produce something. So I'll give her a little shot, give her a couple more days. It's beginning to get cooler, so her days are numbered for sure. So this area is actually where I planted actual potatoes. So I'm gonna see what this looks like. Let's give it a quick look, see how she's coming along, and if I need to do this over a couple of days, I will. Today, tomorrow. There's one. Oh, look at her. She's been in there too long. Look at her sprouting. She is way overdue. How sad is that? Look at her. Just way overdue. So that's definitely my fault for her. But still, we have some critters that have been in here for sure. That one I'll blame myself. However, I will say though, that look at that, maybe candy babies. I will say though that these potatoes that I do have, some of those, I'm gonna look to see if there's something I can do with them. Is there maybe an opportunity for seed potatoes? I could for sure keep some of these slips, but I did plant actual seed potatoes and not just slips this year, so we'll see. We'll see. I'll do some research and see what I found out about that. But construction continues with this. Let's move you over a little maybe. Construction continues. Potatoes are just being completely decimated. Getting a little discouraged about the harvest, but kind of was expecting this. I know that I was fighting some critters and that they were winning in many regards in some things, so I was expecting this after I saw the struggles that Homestead Heart was having. Hey, one little one, yay. Struggles that Homestead Heart was having. I forgot who else I saw. The Humble Servants Homestead, I think, maybe. What they were having challenges too. Look at that one. Looks like a beautiful slip, but gone. So I just don't know whether I can use those as viable slips, whether I'd want to use those as viable slips or not. Getting some more candy babies. Looks like we're trying to have only candy babies this year, which would be super, super disappointing, but we still have a ways to go. We're not going to lose heart. We're going to continue on and see what we get. Okay. Destruction. Those are bad too. Been in there too long. It's been through the ringer. And this one is all busted. Again, in there too long, who knows what else. So let's pull some more of this. This one completely eaten. That just completely destroyed. Make sure I'm not pulling up potatoes along with these. That? I don't know. I'm looking at some of this stuff going, was my count just really off? These look like they've been in here forever. But you know, I did have a new variety this year. That purple vine is new to me. And one thing I did not do was look up that variety to see if the harvest time was different. Shame on me for that, because it is very possible. Look how beautiful that vine is. It is very possible that it had a shorter season than these orange ones that I'm accustomed to. And perhaps that's why so many of them are actually splitting like that. That would be such a shame. Again, little baby on the end, but this one's all split. Okay, we got one. Hallelujah. Another split. But to be underground like this, I saw Homestead Heart was talking about it. She was like, what is happening with them? And was it moles, voles, rats? Like, what's happening? And I know I saw some critters, but moles and voles, I didn't see them. So if they're in here, if they're what's doing this, which I imagine they probably are the culprit for some of this, because this stuff is under the ground and it makes no sense. I'm not sure if rats really dig like this. I don't know. But let's see here. More the same. Come on, baby. Hitting some of my North Carolina. Go down. Okay, she is sprouting. See, I'm not wanting to mess up what I do have. Should I get the larger shovel is kind of a question that's in the back of my head, but I'm really not wanting to at this point. Okay. And small ones. Oh, darling, don't break. And small one. Well, this might be some of the only way you're going to see it, but this is what I was talking about. This is that different sweet potato. They are not the same color as our traditional orange yam. Well, sweet potato, not yam, because there's a difference. But they are, to me, they taste so much better. I tasted them for the first time last year. I'm like, okay, this is amazing. I've got to taste this. Got to plant these. So, did and trying to see what we can get. Yeah, the fact that so many of these have started sprouting makes me really believe that they're stretch the world. Like their growing season is probably not as long. How edible you are. And these guys did not do well. Look at that. That's not edible. Nothing like bit it or anything, but she just doesn't look good. You know? And look at that one. Just not a good potato. You know? This is definitely These guys just stayed in here too long. Look at that. That's awful. I clearly did not know how long they would stay. And I've got to chalk up this issue, some of this to me, not pretty. By and large, this is a disappointing harvest. Ah, very, very disappointing. Still have some there, but honestly, the bulk of the potatoes were right here in this area, not further out. So I'm really not expecting to find much after this. This is honestly the bulk of it, which is disappointing. Very disappointing. So that is a potato that is being eaten. That is right here. So I'm going to see if I can go ahead and harvest that. It looks like something else is probably right there. So let me give it a good shot and see what I can find. I need to cut this and see if I can get up under there. Looks like it's stepping on a potato. It might be a good thing. You can step on a good one if it's there. Hopefully it's a good one. Nope. Oh. Put some babies there though. And one that just got completely eaten. Look at this. A little candy baby. But a potato. Woohoo! Get back to what I actually came over here for, which is the one in front of this. Gosh, this society garlic is so smelly. It's very sensitive. Very sensitive. Okay, darling. Okay. She's good. All right, we can work with that. She is empty. Look at that. This is crazy. I've never experienced this before. That is just crazy. Let's see if I can get the rest of this out of here. Because there's definitely a few more right here. All right, honeys. I pray, Lord. Ooh, please, please. Okay. Well, I had a double and she started splitting. I left her too long. And she was a really good size and she had not been bitten. Okay. All right, we got a good one. There she is. That's a good size. Let's see if I can get her out of here. This one definitely was beginning to sprout. All right, honey. All right, be nice, be nice, be nice. All right, that's a little candy baby. This is a big girl. Please be there. Okay, she's there. She began splitting, but she's there. Look at her. Yeah. There's one back here. This was a good plant. This one right here. All right. Got a good one. All right. Looks like that one has a little spot on it. All right. Look at that girl. She looks okay, actually. All right. We got her. She might actually be okay. And her. Okay, okay. That's exciting. This one plant was super, super productive. My God. It is right beside the society garlic. And it is clearly happy here. Hey, this society garlic may have saved this plant. She is super scenty. She's very, very strong. And perhaps my little critters did not like her. Companion plantain, woo! And the potatoes clearly like being here because they are huge. Okay, maybe not all, because that got bitten, but it's a good size, you know? Okay, see if I can get this out of here without breaking it. Oh, ran into another one. There she is. If I keep digging, I might keep finding them in this little section. That is definitely very productive. They clearly like being near the society garlic. Alright, let's see. I can't dig her out. I've lost all of my sunlight at this point. So I'm really just trying to get this last potato out of here. Come on, don't break, baby. Don't break. Come on, darling. Come to mama. She is in there. She is really in there. Come on, honey. I'm afraid to even dig because this area was so productive. I'm afraid I'm gonna cut up another potato trying to get to her. I hadn't used my shovel yet, but okay, I'm gonna need it. Let me grab it. I'm gonna use the shovel for one of all of these. Pray I do not cut her. Oh no, honey. There she goes. Woohoo! All right, girl. She looks like she's okay. So that is awesome. Really pleased about that. Make sure there are no more right there with her. She was in there. Okay. Well, that's gonna be it. We're gonna have to resume this harvest tomorrow. Sweet potato. It's funny. Take these guys in as well. But I missed those before. And we have slips. We are here this afternoon to finish up our sweet potato harvest. I do have some sweet potato vines that are right here. For those of you that maybe saw the tomato harvest, this ground cherry is here, as well as the tomato. But I do have also a sweet potato vine that's kind of camped out right here, that I'm going to be dealing with now. So I want to see if we actually have any sweet potatoes. If we do, let's get them out of the ground because we have frost coming and they need to go. So I'm going to take you along for the journey. We're going to do this quickly because we have, again, frost coming, and I need to cover up some plants. I have some peas that will not take, they're called sugar snap peas, that they will not take kindly to that cold, so I'm going to need to cover those up. All right, let's see here. For those of you that saw my corn videos, this is what the corn stalks are looking like now that they've died. They're not taking up a ton of soil when I pull them up. So that's actually a nice win for me in being able to do that. That's really funny. That is not a sweet potato. That is a white potato. I had white potatoes here before. So interesting that I'm finding white potato. Had I not picked that guy up and had something attached to it, I would probably have myself a nice white potato harvest coming soon. All right, so far not seeing anything. Looks like I have a little root. Looks like there were some beginnings of a sweet potato. Again, beginnings of a sweet potato, but nothing to write home about. again, we're checking this area because we had something here. And these guys. For this harvest, I will say this has been one of my harder harvests because I did have the vines spread out more. Another white potato. I did have the vines spread out more than they were previously, so it's not as easy for me it hasn't been as easy for me to get a hold of the sweet potatoes as they were, have been in previous harvests. So I'm now trying to dig far enough. There's something here. I don't know how large it's going to be, but it's in there a little ways. This was the beginnings of one of the white sweet potatoes. So nothing large for sure. All right. So by and large, this harvest has been not much of, I would say, a harvest. It's been pretty disappointing. Right. Shift over a little bit. We have some over here, some vines in this area. So just gonna go, and it's not likely that I will really find anything here. Matter of fact, that vine came up pretty easily, so I'm not expecting to even get anything. So I'll move some things out of the way a little bit just to see. I see some beginnings of plants, but not expecting to have anything significant. There's one little guy in here. Let's see if I can get him. Yeah, he didn't really have time to develop, and he was beginning to put on slips. So that's going to be it for that section. This is the guy that I was talking about. He was beginning to get to the point where he was putting on slips. Look at that. So that's it's actually not a white potato. This is a sweet potato. Yeah, pretty interesting. So we're going to shift one more time and, well, maybe once or twice more to see what else is still growing on out here and finish off our sweet potato harvest. So I'm actually going to take you in a little bit, guys, because there is something here that I think you need to see, because it's going to explain my harvest or the lack thereof. All right. So hopefully you can see that hole. That is right there. That hole looks to be what I'm finding to be the explanation for this harvest. That hole is a vole hole. I'd heard of voles before, but honestly, I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what type of environment they lived in. I didn't know what they did, all of that good stuff. So I've had to look this up, and it appears that my harvest has been impacted by voles. Voles burrow underground. There are some that can like hang out on top of the ground, but there's some that really burrow underground. And what you saw with my potatoes is that they burrowed underground and ate every potato that they could get their little teeth on, or big teeth. I don't know. There was a pest the other day that came upon me. He didn't make it, but I honestly thought that it was a little mouse or something. I'm now wondering if that was actually one of the voles that I saw, and I just didn't know what it was. I knew that something was impacting in here because I saw that one potato that was hanging outside of the ground, but to think that I would actually get this much devastation, I wasn't really expecting that. I wasn't expecting to come and so many of the potatoes be eaten. That's tough, and it makes you think about preparation and what you need to do to try to mitigate those losses, or how can I prevent it in the future. So those are all of the things that are like going through my head now and making me wonder, what do I do next year, subsequent years? How do I manage this? Because at the end of the day, I'm not putting food out here for sport. This is food for my family. This is food that I want to be able to provide nutritious food for my family so that they can have what they need. And I don't need an animal or an insect or any type of pest coming and destroying that work. So I'm going to need to do some research and figure some things out. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Here are all of our sweet potato vines. Here we go. All of that. And is what ended up being our sweet potato harvest for this year. Look at that. That is pretty pitiful. Didn't even mean to put this in there. But look at this guy. Look how big that potato was. What did we learn here? We learned that where there are vines, there's not necessarily sweet potatoes. Harvest your sweet potatoes on time, because you can definitely lose sweet potatoes, as I did a few of them. Like this one in particular. This one was okay. It actually hadn't been bitten. It looks like this because it got hit with rain. So that's actually number 3. Harvest, if they're close to harvesting, harvest before the rain. Because I think that this ended up happening because I didn't get a chance to harvest these before Hurricane Ian came. So that's another one. And to look at what our harvest for the year, what our losses were basically, is all of this. Look at these. We lost a whole lot this year to voles. Look at these. These were some really good sized potatoes that are just gone. Completely gone. Look at that. That's a tough lesson to learn. When you have invested a lot of time into something and at the end of it, you almost looks like I lost just as much as I was able to save. Tough. But gardening goes on. And will I continue to plant sweet potatoes? Probably, only because I like them so much. But they do take up a lot of space. But I will tell you that in terms of where I would like to, how I would like to grow going forward, it's definitely going to be growing up a trellis. I would not necessarily do this the same way as before. I would trellis them up like I had the initial one. I actually got a decent amount of potatoes from the area that did have a trellis. So as far as I'm concerned, that was the most successful part of the harvest. So I need to take lessons from that. I need to learn from that, and I will. Yeah. So that's it, guys. This is our harvest for this year and our lessons that we learned. And at the end of the day, this is what we've gotten.